Ladies and gentlemen, hello. I would like to show you my legendary priest. It is a combination of just been dominating the meta lately, very annoyingly so. That. And I guess Death Rattle Priest, since you need Death Rattles to trigger the legendary.
Tyrande versus Uther. I will fight with honor.
You give me strength.
Going first when you don't have a coin is almost all but pointless. So that's fine. We can play our quest and then hopefully we'll get. Oh, that's not good. This deck has a lot of. Okay, now it's better. I was just about to say this deck has a lot of low-cost cards. The first few turns you can build up some momentum quite easily. And he does nothing.
Mind if I roll me?
This is great. Well, potentially great. It depends on what he has in his hand.
Blessings to you.
Well
He's
met.
both a basic card and a card you do not see all the time. Well, this is good.
What is real?
Mind if I roll need? Hey, give me that!
I guess we run this in because if he attacks anything, it'll kill it. And I'm thinking if he's playing that basic of a card, he might be a newer player. Because who plays Iron Fergus anymore? Okay.
Don't mess with Tusk.
Yeah, I think he's a new player. These are all very basic cards. Which is fine. Okay. So it's 3/3. Okay. So this would. If he wants to kill it, he'll have to put both things into it. We'll do that, and when it dies, it returns to my hand, so I'll have a 2/1 again. We can copy it, and we're well on our way. Okay.
Kazdingo! Yes!
Yeah. Is he going to? He's going to. No. He's gonna go face. Okay. Well.
What is real?
Mind if I roll need?
Job done.
Where are we on this? We're at 3/7. This isn't going as well as it could be. It's not going terrible. We're at that weird point some games get where it's not clear. That was strange. Why would you put that on a 1/1?
Don't mess with Tusk.
Why am I asking if he's a new player? 3 loot hoarders. Okay. I can kill something here. I have a Shadow Madness. I could take any one of these. What would that get me, though? not a whole hell of a lot.
What is a loon's will?
I mean, I'm wondering if he's going to do something else. Okay, this is what I'm going to do.
Mind if I roll knee? Hey, give me that!
The other thing I was thinking was just to play the other loot hoarder. But do I have a dragon? I have a dragon! Okay. Well, we'll play this then. Because a 4/11 is difficult for most people to deal
Reporting
with.
for duty.
I don't know that this has ever been silenced. I'm sure at least in one game it has been, but for the most part, and that should really slow him down. He's got nothing but small stuff. He's just picking at me, so this is good.
Behold the might of Stormwind!
Okay, we can kill that with our Shadow Word here. And this works out, 'cause he's going to end up clearing like most of his board for me. And he has to trade that much into one minion? Yeah. He's going to do all this. Can I play? I can. I can play Light Shard beforehand. Yes. Yes, okay.
Behold the glory of a new sun! Job's done.
Summon a 5/5 copy of a minion in your deck.
Behold the might of Stormwind!
Oh, okay, well now we've got a problem. Well, I'm going to... What am I going to do? He's got 3 cards. I could play this and really put pressure on. Yeah, I like that, because it breaks the shield. As odd as it seems, I think that's probably the better thing, because if I play this, I don't know if it kills it with a shield. Or if I'm just completely overthinking this. Okay, that's fine. I think. Damn it. Okay. Well, now we have an 8/8 on the board, so I mean he's all but dead.
Reporting for duty.
So we can experiment in a more comfortable if I take that, it becomes a 1/1, I think. Haha! Okay, we don't even have to experiment. We can just destroy that. And then wait, see something here.
I will mourn your death.
4 damage. Do I have any way of doing 4 damage? I do not. But I'm curious to see what this does, because I don't know that I've ever played that. Ah! Okay, I don't know what I was expecting. It did exactly what it said it was going to.
Job's done.
Okay. Alright, well, there you go. I do feel kind of bad for using a deck like this on somebody that's clearly new to the game, but... Okay. Well, now I feel less bad. He knows enough to try to heal himself, so...
Well played.
Well played. Okay, so if I Holy Nova... Okay, so if I Holy Nova...
Well played.
Yep, yep. That does damage to him. Boom. Boom. And there we go. GG.
Well played.
Okay. Yay. Okay, let me show you what's in here. Not a legendary priest. So we have Awaken the Makers. Admittedly not as good now that we've started a new year. When I had both the 2-cost loot hoarders and the 4-cost loot hoarders, this seemed like it was a lot more effective, and there was something else. There was like 2 other death rattles that used to go in here when this card first came out. Now it's a little bit strange. That's one reason why I say I've had some long games with this, is because you don't always get 7 death rattle minions out as early in the game. Sometimes it really prolongs, right up until the end. So loot hoarders, plated beetle. I like this. I like the 2-3 for 2. I don't think it's terrible. It'll trade. You gain 3 armor, which is kind of nice. You think, oh, I lost a minion. Yeah, but you gain some armor. Not a lot, but it helps. This is nice for copying our little death rattle minions. Voodoo doll. I'm trying to think. I don't think this was the first deck I used this in, but it's a nice little card. Just have 1. Just because it does usually take 2 turns, 1 turn to play, and then the second turn to attack. This has been silent several times. That's the only drawback, and it doesn't. It doesn't do anything after it's been silenced. Then it's just a 1/1 for 3 on the board, and yeah. This card I wasn't sure of, but much like the Caller, it's it copies something, sends it back to your hand, which I like because this only summons a 1/1 copy. So if there's something you want to keep on the board, or you want to, like with the loot hoarders or the plated beetles, something, it's not a bad card. Arfis, not entirely sure of this card. A couple of the cards are really good. A couple of the cards can really screw you over, basically. Namely, the one that, I want to say it destroys all the minions on your opponent's side of the field, but you lose 1 card for each opponent you destroy. So you kind of fatigue yourself a little bit. This is odd. But nevertheless, it is a death rattle, and it does give you a Death Knight card, so it's not too terrible. Trying to see, there was something else I had in here. Yes, this card is probably the reason why I've had such long games, because it is a death rattle and it is a lifesteal, and it destroys a random enemy minion. So by late game, both you and your opponent have used pretty much most of your removal, your deck. You've probably wiped each other's boards a few times at this point. You're trying to get enough momentum to do fatal, to get a win, to do fatal damage and get a win. And this will, and I just took it out of my deck. This will usually boost your health enough that you can get maybe one of the dragons or something out, and yeah, boost your, either get fatal damage or run your opponent down enough that they just concede. Dragons, got dragons. Ysera, Alexstrasza, Primordial Drake. I like this. I like the deal 2 damage to all those minions, because generally when you play this, you are playing this on an empty board. Your board is empty, your opponent has maybe 2-3 things on the board. It's a 4/8 besides, so whatever you're damaging is also going to take 4 damage. So it's a nice little card. Wormguard. I like this card. It does tend to get silenced. This and Voodoo Doll tend to bait out silence quite well for obvious reasons. But this will, usually if this is on the board, at any point whether you play it on curve at turn 7 or later on, it usually does not die for a turn or two. So you buy yourself some time. It's a 4/11, so it does trade. It does do a fair amount of damage if you're trying to get lethal. Not a bad card. Night Scale. This is somewhat of a situational card, because whenever a friendly minion is healed, which tends not to happen very often with this deck. A lot of the death rattle stuff is smaller, so it dies easier. Not really a chance to heal it. A lot of the bigger stuff just really baits out a lot of the removal. A few times I've ran this in. I've traded this with something else and then healed it, or I've healed Wormguard, something like that. But generally speaking, I like it. Summons a 3/3 Whelp. If you can get this on the board and get a couple of these out, it's not bad. It's not bad, especially late game, like I was saying, when you're trying to get lethal. Lesser Diamond Soulstones. They're not of the lesser of the diamond cards, we'll say, because I think they're all. Oh, no, I don't think they all are named diamond. Of these cards, though, this is probably one of my least favorites because it takes so long to ramp it up. When you consider Hunter, all you have to do is play a trap. 3 traps and you're there. You have to cast 4 spells. Granted, you get to summon an additional minion. You get to summon 3 or reincarnate 2, 3, or 4. But it's a 7-cost card, so I find that reincarnating a lot of the smaller stuff doesn't really help you, because it is smaller stuff, and even getting this out, you have enough cards in this deck to make this work. It's just a matter of drawing them in a timely fashion, really. So, yeah. It's, now what's nice is with the Shadow Madness and I thought there was something else. Maybe not. It will summon minions that were pulled over by this. So I think maybe I got something from Light Shard. Game or two, because it seemed like I had another card besides that did the same thing. It will reincarnate those, which is good and bad depending on what your opponent has. If your opponent has something that has an Inspire effect, or maybe a Battle Cry or something, Death Rattle, a Taunt, Battle Cries do trigger with this when a card is reincarnated. So it could be really good. I think they either need to lower the mana cost, like down to 6 maybe, or change the number of spells you need to get this to work. Because even with Light Shard, I have trouble getting this to ramp up. I've rarely gotten this to the third stage. I think I've tried to get it to the second a lot of times, and then I call it good and reincarnate 3 minions and kind of leave it at that. Holy Fire. Almost always use this. Just one. Really only need one. Removal plus kind of like what I was saying with this card, it heals you a little bit. So you kind of, this will keep you alive for at least a turn, if not longer, depending on what the game is like. Light Shard, I think I threw this in here just to be random. I don't really remember why. I've been told this is a really good card. Maybe I don't have enough spells in this deck to really make it work properly. For me, it's a very situational card. There's been a few games late game that I've been able to throw this down. There wasn't much removal left at that point in the game. We both used most of our removal, and this did pretty well. It's a fun card. I will give it that. Most Preist cards are most Preist spells are generally fairly good. But depending on, when you have a deck that has, different themes to it, Death Rattle, Dragon, etc., just getting random spells doesn't always help you. There's not always synergy there. Yeah. But I can't justify taking it out. It works when I need it to work. So, Holy Nova, because Holy Nova. Shadow Madness. I use this instead of Shadow Word Pain because it usually trades where this is a 2-cost and it kills one thing. Yes, this is a 4-cost, but it usually will kill two things. And as I said with the Diamond Soulstone, if you can get something that's a 3-cost, 2-cost, what have you, it'll reincarnate it. So it's not a bad card to have. I started doing this a while back and running this instead of Shadow Word Pain, and I like it. It seems to work better. It's just early / mid game enough that it works. You think 4-cost, where this is 2-cost, yeah, but by turn 4, if you can't survive until turn 4, generally by that point you're gonna lose. I think you're up against most likely a net deck, and yeah, you're gonna lose. What else? Unidentified Elixir. I like these cards. I wasn't sure 3-cost, random bonus effect, but much like the Warrior card that's 6-cost, gives you armor plus a random ability, either more armor or weapon, or I forget what some of the other ones are, but just a random enhancement. It works. 2/2, synergizes nice with the Death Rattle, since they're smaller. This gives life steal, so it's good early game. And it also has a bounce back effect where it returns a Death Rattle effect, returns it to your hand. I don't think the Death Rattle counts towards Awaken the Makers. I don't think so because it's a spell. Yeah, 7 Death Rattle minions. But that's fine. And I think one of them gives. A shield. I think. My mind's blanking on what that word is, or what it's called. Yeah. Shadow Word Death, because this is for 3 costs, remove a 5 attack or more. Yeah, it's pretty good. And then Probe, I think just because I don't think I've ever used this before and I was trying to. It's not a terrible card. Again, kind of very situational because of the fact that your opponent has to be running good spells. Not a lot of spells are good and not a lot of people know that. And it's a very subjective thing. So this is, if I was going to remove anything, it would probably be this, just because that's how little of an impact I've seen with it. So, Divine Shield, that's what I was trying to think of. So let's play one more game. See if we can. Oh. Preist versus Preist.
Okay. Alone give me strength.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if they... Ooh, not a bad hand. I think if they would lower the cards you need for Diamond Spellstone, I think it'd see a lot more play. I don't know that I've ever actually seen anybody else use it. Sitting here thinking, and I'm trying to think if I played a game where anybody else used it. I don't think they did. At least that I can remember. Then again, I don't see a lot of priests running their legendary quest either anymore. It's all Dragon Priest. It's all very annoying.
Blessings to you.
Not a bad start. Okay.
Job's done.
Ooh, he has a Masti's. Your opponent's deck and editor. Okay, so he does have a Masty spell. Well, that's not good. Because I have a lot of things. Be silence. I played into that. I didn't even realize. Okay, see, this is what I was talking about. So, we will kill off this. Boom. Boom. That was even better because this was reducing spells. So, I think we just kind of play on curve. Playing something. Well, that really wasn't on curve. Don't have a turn 6 play though. Aha! The same thing. Well, chances are he's going to get something that does harm to him sooner than. Showing the point in that. I'd like to hold on to that at least one more turn. Oh, and he got a good card. That's like one of the... Oh, this is good. See, now I'm tempted to mass D-spell, but... It's more this isn't going to kill this, so... Okay. It's progressing along rather quickly, and neither one of us has really done much. Oh, that's not good. And that wasn't mine, that was his. Okay. Now we can mass D-spell. I don't see where we have a choice. We don't have a dragon. The annoying thing is it's still a 3/4. You know, since this counts as everything, you rarely ever see this played. I mean, it literally counts as anything.
My duty is to the king.
Okay. It was rush, and there were no rush minions. That. This is where he has a silence. And I saw that coming.
Out of my jungle!
Well, I don't know what this deck is, but I'm losing to it. Let's see if this is... Well... Trying to think if anything makes sense here. Not really. Because summoning a 1/1 copy. Well, it would give me a shield, I suppose. Or a taunt.
What is real?
It would heal me. Oh no, it's silence too. I should have known that. My god, I'm an idiot. I should have known that. Okay, well, fine. We'll regularly attack that. Why did I think it was gonna copy something that wasn't silenced? I'm an idiot. Oh well. Yes. Oh. Can I win? Well.
For the king!
Shield.
What is real?
My duty is to the king. For the king!
Oh, that was nice.
Think again. Wow.
Oh, that worked well. I always kind of forget that it destroys a minion when it dies. So that worked well. Not well enough to save me, but that worked well. Right.
Think again. Think again.
It'll destroy the 1/1, but that's fine. See, you need one more spell. why I said you're always like so close. How does he have 3? Oh. God, I need a dragon. Alright.
For the king! I don't have enough mana.
Okay. See, that's what I said. It reincarnates your opponent's cards. That's not terrible. Oh, it's using my cards again. Oh, that's not good. Trying to think. Okay, there's a dragon.
As the witch commands.
So. Oh, I did this wrong. If I kill this and it kills the taunt.
Job's done.
Am I an idiot? No. Okay. Well, I mean, I am. I should have waited before I played that, but then it would have killed that anyway. So, yes, that worked out as well as it was going to, I guess. Oh, but his is fully. Of course, it is.
Not quite what was planned.
Well, if this survives, yeah, I think it's going to.
Awaken, my children. Intrude.
Oh, and it draws him a card. Oh, isn't that nice? I don't. I'm trying to think of ways to win this, and I am running out of ways to win this. I only have one card, so I know what he got. He got a loot hoarder. I'm thinking maybe if I get you Sarah, maybe get you Sarah's Awaken. He's just gonna start going face now, isn't he? Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Be gone!
Let's kill that. Let's get another one of these. Let's kill that. He's gonna draw a card. But he's gonna mill himself. So yeah.
The hand is too full.
Oh, and he milled the Lich King. How unfortunate.
A mistake.
That's not what I wanted. There we go. He milled himself again. There's you, Sarah. Okay, that can kill that. So, still has 5 mana. What's he gonna do with 5? And see, this is why.
I dream and the world trembles.
Dragon Priest is annoying. Trying to think of things that can heal me at this point, and he's only got 2 cards left in his. And there's the mind control. Yep. All right, GG.
It is finished. You win.
There you go, folks. I call that Legendary Priest. I hope you enjoyed that. I'll see you again next time.